Hello, my name is Russell Myers. Welcome to Issues Unite. All right, one of the things about getting back into the swing of this is just trying to prioritize which videos to do first. But let's talk about hacking attacks. Okay? Of course, part of this is the Colonial pipeline. And then there's also the SolarWinds debacle that, from each one of these, the thing that you should really notice is that there was no actual damage done from any of them. I mean, there has been no actual damage done by the hacks themselves. One of the first things to understand about this, hackers are usually have pretty specific goals in mind. First of all, money, such as the Colonial pipeline. The hackers that went after the Colonial Corporation didn't actually go after the pipeline. There's been no evidence produced which says that they saw that the program that infiltrated their system had any effect on the infrastructure at all. It was the corporation that stopped the flow of fuel through the pipeline. What the hackers actually did and said was they locked up they hacked data. And they said that they would release that data if they were not paid. So the first question that should come to your mind is, what information did this company not want to reveal? So much that they were willing to shut down the pipeline and cause a gas crisis over much of the country. What information are they hiding? Now, I understand not paying, a hacker that holds your computer system hostage, because they could do it again. But shutting down the pipeline for this, there was no threat. In fact, the hackers said that they had no intention of doing this. So that was not a threat. There was no threat there. They never said they were going to do this. They were just going to hold the corporate data hostage. That's what they were going to do. As another goal of hackers can be just information, which appears to be the case with the SolarWinds thing. All right, so there was never any request for money. There was never any, seizing or alteration of data. They didn't lock anything down. They were just exfiltrating data. And honestly, evidence seems to be that this was an inside job. Somebody associated with the program that was so widely distributed among government agencies and contractors were the ones that had enough knowledge to have carried this off. It's highly unlikely that this was even an outside job at all. In each case, our government keeps on blaming Russia or Russian hackers, all this stuff. I'm not a hacker. I couldn't hack my way into my own computer if I lost my password. But I understand one thing about hacking, and that is you're always hearing of them trying to track down hackers. That's because hackers bounce their signal, so to speak, off of multiple computers, multiple locations, multiple countries. And one of the most common for them to use is Russia or, former Soviet republics. And our government has not tracked down the colonial hackers to Russia. There has been mention from our government saying, well, but they included provisions within their program so that if it included the Russian language, it would not attack a company or resource. Well, according to Moon of Alabama, that's true. But it also includes languages such as Ukrainian and Polish and Georgian and, any number of Eastern Bloc countries, former Soviet republics. So it's not just Russia, it's countries that are antagonistic toward Russia that are immune to this. Let's not forget about Vault 7, revealed by WikiLeaks, the set of programs by the CIA which could falsify the location and the language of programs so that it could be made to seem like it came from another country, such as Russia. In this case, I believe that the hack is genuine and that these things are true, because I don't think that they would have the intelligence to include all those different languages and then blame Russia when one of the countries immune is Ukraine, which is highly antagonistic to Russia. And yeah, some hackers cause minor mischief. These are usually younger people that are, just trying things out and seeing what they can get away with. But they are not out to do major damage. At least not in their view. Sometimes the mischief can wind up causing more problems than they counted on. Because they don't have very good critical thinking skills in real life. In any case, what all of this is showing, our infrastructure is insecure. Our government agencies and contractors are insecure. Who should be in charge of the security for all of these things? You can blame attackers, but it's the defense. You know attacks are going to come. You know that this is going to happen. So what is lacking is our defense against these things. Outsourcing to corporations that are more interested in making a profit than they are in developing a truly secure system that is immune from this. The solar wind, stellar wind, whatever the hell it was, that they had been exfiltrating data for well over a year, undetected. How secure is this? There's no indication that anything was done with any of the data. We have no idea who actually did it or to what purpose. So there's no evident goal in mind. But if there had been a goal in mind, then they would have achieved it. You think about that. Over a year, how much data did they collect, which they could have used in some way? The Colonial pipeline, well, they could have shut down the pipeline Who's to say that they could not have also infiltrated every other pipeline in the country? There's no cohesive security for this country coming from the federal government. If you read, Permanent Record by Ed Snowden, given to me by a girlfriend because she knew I wanted to read it, what you understand is that well over 90% of the IT professionals working for the federal government are actually contractors who work for-profit corporations. Instead of the government offering better pay and benefits so that you've got the workers working directly for the federal government, they pay a profit to the corporation who offers higher pay to recruit these people. Edward Snowden himself started working for the federal government, then wound up and going and working for a contractor because he made a lot more money and had better benefits and so forth, working for the corporation. And he bounced back and forth between them. And that's not uncommon. I mean, wouldn't you? If you worked for the government and somebody came in and said, look, we're getting paid by the government, but we'll pay you twice the amount of money that you're making working for the government to do the exact same job. What kind of a scam is this? What kind of standards are being held up? So the problem is not that there are hackers. Attacks are going to happen. That's been true since the internet began, even before the internet began. You look back, I can't think of the name of it, but War Games, I think. Yeah, War Games. The movie about this, teenage hacker that hacks into the Department of Defense. That was before the internet. That was with a simple modem. But it was already a concept. It was already things that were happening then. So these are not new threats, but our government has failed to adapt. They're more interested in their ties to the corporations than they are interested in the security of this country. And it's not just electronic security, it's security in all manners. We bomb other countries and create terrorists. You go and kill a man's child, is he going to be friendly toward you? It's natural disasters. Look at the wildfires in California year after year after year. Look at droughts, water shortages. Look at the pipelines that froze in Texas. These are all natural things that should be overseen by the government and setting standards. These are things that should be nationalized. Our infrastructure and the security of it should be nationalized. Our banking system should be nationalized. These are things having to do with our security and safety. And yet, here we are. You hand it over to a corporation, and then when the corporation runs into problems, guess who they turn to bail them out from the financial impact? Who's going to pay the bill? You and I are going to pay the bill. We always pay the bill. So we need to start pushing for nationalization of certain industries. Let's not even start with, airlines and Boeing. You know, I'll just stop right there. But if you think attacks aren't going to happen, it does no good to point a finger after the attack has happened. The failure came from preventing the attack from being successful. That is the failure. And it is an immense failure, and every failure that comes to the public eye just encourages more attacks because we have shown our vulnerability, making us less safe. You know, pointing fingers and imposing sanctions does what? It does absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. Share this video. Talk about these subjects. If you can, please donate $1 a month to help expand the channel. I'll catch you in the next one.